Hi all, I'm doing a follow-up for this Movement Monday on what I talked about last time with your fingertips. Okay, this one's really basic, really simple. We've talked about touch, but what about actual touch on a surface? Okay, so imagine this was my floor. What would it be like if I actually ran my hands on the floor? We know that floor pressure with our feet wakes up and stimulates them. Why would it be any different with your hands? Well, of course it's not. So what I love to do, and I'm going to do it like you are my mirror for a moment. This is, by the way, you could do this in partners doing mirroring, where they are touching fingertips and mirroring each other. Wonderful little mirroring exercises, following along. Oh, that would be good fun. But what we're getting is that little bit of touch while mobilizing the arm. Now I could also do it. That's why some of this stuff is so good, not just for where I'm touching on my own arm, but the act of touching it for this hand as well. But what I also love to do is be on the floor. So let's say I'm kneeling on the floor. Okay, there's my hands on the floor for you. Okay, and I'm doing big circles. I could feel like I'm drawing a butterfly, whatever you like, swooping along. I like being like a mermaid who runs her hands through the water and then drips it so it doesn't go on her hair, runs her hands through the water, you know, whatever story you want. And I do that before I do a port de bras. Okay, and there's two pieces here. One would be getting the stimulation there. I'm feeling stimulated fingertips while I'm moving. That's good. It's going to wake up the movement in the shoulder girdles, and everything about having the individualization of these fingers is a wonderful, positive thing. Make sure you're moving in such a way the thumb is also touching, not just the fingers, but get the thumb in there as well. Okay, so that's number one. The other piece that I'm going to put out to you is to do two sort of progressional versions. One would be where they're mirroring with a partner or on the floor doing it, that you do the arms identical. I'm moving away from my center or toward, up or down, diagonals, whatever it is, but they are identical. Then you can start doing them where they do their own separate thing. Okay, but it's really useful from a brain and a development perspective to do the same thing. So, you know, I'm a brain gym instructor. When you do exactly the same with both hands, we call that a double doodle. So imagine that I had a piece of paper and I was drawing both sides at the same time. And as a matter of fact, there's a whole class on double doodle. So here's my mini story on that. I'm a learnaholic. I've done hundreds of hours of classes, even just in brain gym. But the double doodle one, ooh, that pushed my buttons. I almost wanted to leave at lunch hour. Not that I would have, because I'm diligent like that, but in double doodle play, it's called double doodle play, trying to hint at the play. All we get to do is all these different artistic expression and drawing techniques, but we must use both hands simultaneously. So if I'm drawing a house, both sides, and if I want to draw a chimney, they both go together. If I'm drawing a fish, it's like, oh, I can't do one side then the other. I'm like, oh, how do I draw that? Anyway, it was making my brain hurt, which is why at lunch hour, I almost wanted to leave. It's like there's this resistance and fighting and fighting and fighting, like there's a gate between my two hemispheres and they're like duking it out on either side. After lunch, and then a few more things after lunch, boom, suddenly it connected. And I'll tell you, I did artwork, moving both hands simultaneously, never doing the same direction, but doing, again, the away or the toward. And I did pictures and drawing to a level that I have never done before or since. It woke something up. Now, the before makes sense. The since is really sad. I really should be doing more of that. But there was this transition where suddenly the ability for this to come together created a connection, obviously my right and left hemispheres, where boom, it suddenly coalesced and I got really wonderfully artistic. So I know we do all this working where they're different, but my suggestion is for all ages. Start with some perfect symmetry movements. Touch really heightens it. Floor, other partner, wall. I guess not mirror, you don't want to clean it, but wall, anything touch and perfect symmetry. Then get into the asymmetrical. especially if the children are having troubles with the asymmetrical. Go back a step, do perfectly symmetrical. Okay, that's your big tip for today. And remember, from the previous ones, we're letting each finger have its voice. Okay, that's it for now. Bye, y'all.